Do you want to start your own podcast? Today, in this particular video, I'm going to help you exactly how to start a podcast. Do with me. So, I would be showing you exactly what step I am going to take over, next few minutes, and then you are going to dive deep into how to start a podcast. So, let's start. Hey everyone, Ranvijay Bhaskar here, and in this particular episode, we are going to look into how to start a podcast. So, as you can see on my screen, I'm going to dive deep into many concepts. So, without wasting further, let us begin. So, the very first point is all about the concepts that you need to have in mind before you go on this podcast journey. Number one is you need to understand that podcast is simple and easy. It is no, and I say no difficult game. It is super simple. You want to do it, just do it. Don't think so much in your mind. Point number two is authenticity always wins. Do not go ahead and try to copy paste from other podcasters. You can have idea driven from them. You can take concepts out of it, but don't just copy. And when I say copy, do not copy content and do not try to copy accent of them, like how they really talk. You need to talk to yourself. You need to be you, right? So the next point I want to talk over here is consistency is the key. So, podcast is simple, authenticity always wins, but unless until you are consistent in delivering the podcast, you are not going to win. So, at the end of this particular video, I'm going to ask you to join me over 100-day challenge. So, I have also, started my own podcast journey. I am pretty new over there, but I'm doing it consistently. And I can see my keyword rank and other things are pretty much increasing. I see a lot of downloads happening over there. So I hope you understood this concept. If these three things are clear, you are super duper ready to launch your podcast business. So let us now look into how to start. Podcast is simple, but you cannot just go ahead and start recording anything. You need to find your niche. And how do you find that? Is you need to look around you and you need to find your passion and craft. So what is it that you really like? You can take some time, maybe 1 hour, 2 hour, or even one day or a week, but try to find that one simple thing that you are good at. What is it that people, want to love coming back to you for suggestions? Might be you are good at yoga and people ask you, oh my god, how to reduce my weight, or at what time I should wake up, and a lot of questions. If people are asking you, it means they find you authentic in that particular area, and that could be your niche. So you really need to dive deep into it, but do not waste a lot of time. You cannot spend months thinking about your niche. Just pick the one that comes into your mind, or even you can ask your family, friends, or relatives to help you around that. So once your niche is ready, you are good. Coming to the next point, you need to do your setup. So the very first thing, you need to have your podcast name. So if you have a niche, it will give you much more clarity what your podcast name would be. You can be yoga guru, you can be yoga expert. So I always suggest two things. Your name can either be your name, like whatever your name is. Like my podcast name could be Ranvijay Bhaskar. In a similar way, your podcast name simply could be your name or your brand name. So you want to show your expertise in your particular niche. In that case, your podcast name could be relevant to your niche, right? And next point is podcast description. So you have written down your name. You need to write down your description. So what the description says is what mission you are serving. So you have found your niche, but unless and until you are to the point over what you really want to, serve the community, you need to show them that you are serving them a purpose. And podcast is not just a game where you are explaining the things to people. You need to look at it with this perspective that whatever you are talking about and spreading the word out, people are getting results out of it. So at the end of the day, whatever words you are putting out there, it is impacting someone's life. And with that perspective, you need to write down your description. It can be your mission statement, like I am on a mission to transform the lives of people who are super passionate about something by building digital products and ecosystem around them. In a similar way, you can tell what is it that you are passionate about, what is your mission, what you want to achieve, right? Once that is done, the next part is artwork logo. Now, artwork logo could be simple image itself. Like on my podcast, I have simply put in my image and the three things that I always talk about, like business, mindset, and marketing. Right. So how do you create the artwork logo is simply visit canva.com. Even you can do it with your free account and search for a lot of, images around podcast artwork, and then you will find one, just modify it, put in your image and all, and just download it. Get the version 1 ready. I mean to say that do not, start wasting like a day, 2 or 3 days. I don't want you to do that. Get it done in like half an hour. Take your time, but get it done as soon as possible. So once your artwork logo is done, next is microphone. A lot of people struggle. Like I do have a microphone. If you can see, I can also raise it. This is my microphone. This is just a simple, mono microphone. I can also give you the link of this particular microphone. I'm using this one, but you don't need very expensive microphones. You can get started even with the mic that is provided along with your earphone, because nowadays the smartphones, the mobiles are coming with very good microphones. They really have noise cancellation and all those stuffs inbuilt. If you have not yet tried, you can try it out. Just open the recorder application in your mobile. If it is Android, if it is iOS, doesn't matter, and then start recording. You will see the clarity in your words, and if you can see and if you can listen to the words clearly, you are good to go. I mean, people just want to listen. Why to invest so much money initially into very good quality microphones, right? You can start with that. Even the earphone mic works fine. So recording is also done. Now you would be having a piece of data. You need to process that particular audio, and for that you would need a piece of software like Audible and sorry, it's not Audible, it's Audacity. So you can use this software named Audacity, and you can use some free background music for intro and outro. You will find a lot of websites selling intro and outro musics. You can either purchase or you can mention their name in the description itself of that particular episode, and it would be good to go. They have Common Creatives license and you can use it. There are a lot of options right now. After that, you need to look into hosting. So you have processed the software. Now you have the file that you want to upload on your podcast. So for hosting, we have free hosting platform like anchor.fm, that is absolutely free, or you can even try Buzzsprout. I am currently using Buzzsprout for my podcast, and it offers 90 days of free episode hosting. So if you created an episode today, they will provide it for free. They will host it for free until 90 days has already been passed. And after 90 days, okay, and these days might change. I have not seen right now how much days they are giving, but it is usually more than a month, 90 days or 60 days. It is all fine. So if you are starting out, you can try anchor.fm, but eventually you'd love to switch to Buzzsprout because of lot of features and facilities that is there. For example, in future, if you change your podcast name, it will automatically sync to all other platforms, and you will own the copyright to all the episodes that you publish. But the same doesn't happens in anchor.fm, right? So these are just minor differences. If you're starting out, start with anchor.fm just to test out if you are consistent for 100 days. And eventually you can also migrate from anchor.fm to Buzzsprout. That is also fine, right? And after that, finally you need to have your RSS feed. So every podcast hosting platform gives you feed link. So those feed links you can use to sync with other platforms like Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, Ghana.com, and a lot more. There are a lot many platforms who now allows podcast. Even Facebook has now started to showcase podcast. So if you have a Facebook page, you can link your podcast tab with Facebook as well. So all these things were related to setup, and this is how you get done. Now let us come to the strategy part. So once your setup is done, it means you are good to go with the publishing mode. So you are onto the publishing mode. So what are the various strategies into podcast? This is the number 4. The very first point is find your title. So in setup we saw like you need to find your title, but that was the name of the podcast. But now we are looking into episodes, which episode you are going to publish. So you need to do a lot of research. So how do you do that? Is basically you need to find yourself what you are passionate about, and after that you need to Google that particular title. I mean, right now we don't have any search engine like Google is into the web world. We don't have any smart thing coming up into the podcast world. So you need to research your title, make it catchy so that people will be clicking on that link. For example, you want to create a podcast around yoga, then you should say it like, power yoga for anyone in mid-age, achieve fitness in less than 5 minutes. Something like that. Make it catchy, make it twisty, and make sure a lot of people are searching for it. So on Google, you can just type on which title you want, and the Google suggestions you would be able to see what all are the things that you can rank in for, right? So, and that is how you do your research work. Now next point is create a mind map or important points to refer to. So in podcast, a lot of people they actually write down everything that they are going to speak, and that is something that I never suggest to my students. And the very important thing that you can do is just make a note of the point. For example, right now I am recording this video on YouTube. You can see that mind map is with me. I'm not speaking word by word. I'm just referring to these points and explaining back to you guys. I'm using my own word, not the recorded version of it, so that my intention is felt back to you. And it is very, very important. So you need to create a mind map. And again, do with me is the section where I'm going to explain you exactly how I do it, so that you can do it together with me as well. So never mind, that will work, and I know you can do it. So initially you might find and you might struggle with it. The words might not come out spontaneously, but that is fine. For the first time when I was doing podcast, it took me 3 hours to record 5 to 6 minutes of episode. And right now, if you talk to me how much time it takes, it takes me half an hour to record half an hour of the episode. So I don't do any cut. I just record it as it is and then process it. So uh, if I talk about the software that I am using, I'm also using the same software, Audacity. And Audacity is processing it like in 5 to 6 minutes max. So I'm good with podcast and I can do it really fast. So can you. Because I am still new into podcast world. I haven't published 20 episodes or so. I am still less than 15 episodes. And that is why I am coming back to you to show you the way how it works, right? So after mind map is done, start recording in a silent room. You do not want people to knock in your door. Make sure your mobile is in silent mode and then record your episode. So there is a structure how you record. The first part is intro. Intro is catch lines. So as I say, like, power yoga I was talking about. So if your title is power yoga, your catch line could be, hey everyone, good morning. And today in this particular podcast, I am going to tell you all about power yoga, which will give you some amazing results in less than 5 minutes. Are you ready? Then dive in. Something like that. So these are the catchy lines. After that, people will stick to you. So you can say these words and it can be less than a minute of the intro, and then you can play some music, and after that you can dive into the main content. Whatever notes you have taken, you will throw it out at the end of it. So it was a 30 minutes podcast, so you speak for 20 minutes of main content, and then you summarize it in as short as possible, maybe in 3 minutes or so. And then finally the outro, where you are going to ask people to do something. So I generally recommend you to have your own product. If you don't have a product, go ahead with some affiliate product. Make sure you have something to showcase to people, and people can buy from you. Because I understand that you want to do it for free, you want to do it for good, but the impact is only created once you can help people by going into core of it. For example, you are listening to me over this particular YouTube video or Facebook video, wherever you are listening to me, but you will only be able to create an impact if you can dive deep into it. I've asked you initially to be consistent for 100 days. I know 96% of you will not do it. And the 4% who is going to do it might need more help than what is being provided in this just 30 minutes video. And that is why you need to create your own digital products, maybe your courses or your coaching line, where this 4% of the people can connect with you on a deeper level to enhance their business. They don't take podcast like some fun time. They consider podcast as a business thing, something to create a result for their own community, something like that. So you need to make sure you need to have a CTA. If you are starting up and you don't know what you can mention in the CTA, don't work out more. Just ask people to like, subscribe and follow me. If you are listening it on Spotify or on Apple, just give me a 5-star review or something like that. That thing you are good to go with. So once the recording is done, the next part is import the raw recording to Audible. So I asked you to record it either over phone or whatever mic you are using, and then import it to Audible and add some background music into it. So you do not want 30 minutes music, but at intro point you need music, and at outro point you need music. And after that, do some minor editing if required. It means you need to cut down all those noisy part. And the number 6 is export it in WAV format, WAV. It is the best format the audio can be exported into, containing all the audio pixels. So in images we have pixels, in audio you have all the bits, all the small bits is saved in wave format. It is a very good format. And add the exported audio file to podcast hosting, and finally add meta information. Meta information is all about, so when you put your file into the podcast hosting, like I'm using Buzzsprout, I need to provide the episode number, which episode I am uploading, then the title of the episode along with the description. So once I have done that meta information, all I need to publish it. So I can publish it right now, or I can schedule it to certain time. So I usually do the scheduling part. I record it beforehand so that my podcast is published at a certain time. So I usually recommend you guys to start with the scheduling part and schedule it early in the morning, as early as possible, because when your schedule gets published, from that it navigates to various network like Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, and a lot of other platforms, and the migration might take up to 2-3 hours. And if you publish it into the early morning, there is a chances that people listen to podcast while driving. So a lot of people are visiting their offices, they are going to search for your podcast and they will listen to it, because early morning is the best time for people to listen to podcast. And finally, do with me. So let me show you exactly how I do, and if you want you can pause the video, or if you want you can repeat it, but make sure you are following it to the T. I'm going to show you exactly how I am going to publish my podcast. So I hope you are ready. On the next screen I will show you exactly how I create mind map around podcast, and we'll go from there. So this is my folder where I store all the podcasts. So in 2002 I just started my podcast, so there is only one episode. For 2021 I have put it into archive. I will again pull it back when required, like 2022 when it's done it will move again to the archive. So in 2022 this is the very first episode that I did. You can see how to strategically become the best social media influencer. So this is the podcast which I done, and this is the mind map. So if I double click, you'd be able to see the mind map exactly, right? So this is the mind map. You see I have put in all the details that are required, like the context, like what I want to talk about, what is an influencer, entertainer's roles. So this is the mind map. And after putting the mind map, all I do is go to Audacity, and I will show you that also. So this is my Audacity. You can see here microphone is USB condenser, and I always record in mono. So I don't use the stereo, I use the mono settings, and then I'll just hit the record button. So whatever I'm saying, it is going to be recorded, right? So press the record button and I will say, hey everyone, Ranvijay Bhaskar here. Welcome to very first episode of season 3. Right, something like that. So each of these things are recorded in this wave format, right? And then how I edit, I'm going to show you. So I don't want to waste your time, so I will just pull a previous recording and I will show you exactly how I do that. So as you can see on my screen, I have imported one file, and if I zoom in over here, you can see all this wave, all this editing. So this is very first episode that I did on podcast, and you see it is really long one, not the first one. I think the first one I did for 5 minutes, it is for 21 minutes, and that is good, right? So I have put in my entire audio file, and this is the intro part. So till the intro is happening, I am pulling up one music file. So if you click on this particular icon, you'd be able to increase or decrease the volume. So you see this is the intro file, and I can increase or decrease the volume from here, right? So I always want intro music to be very, very slow. so I am decreasing its size, right? And I do that specifically because I do not want it to sound very loud. Although in Buzzsprout there is a functionality called as magic music or something like that, that can automatically reduce the sound of the music, but I want to do it on my own. So if I click on anywhere, it will be very helpful to find your niche, right? Then we are good. Just need to increase it a bit. Be helpful to find your niche, right? The music is playing, so it is good. And also at this particular point, when I am going to halt for a while, I'm going to increase the music, because something is happening and then there is a break, and after that I say, hey everyone, Ranvijay Bhaskar here. So at a particular point I want this music to basically go loud, right? And the point I am again starting to speak, I want this music to go low, right? Something like that, if you can listen. Hey there, Ranvijay Bhaskar here, and this is the way. Right? The music was going on, and then finally, as soon as I started speaking, the music came down, right? And this is how I design the intro part. In a similar way, the outro part, you can pull up the same music. So what I do for outro is I'm just going to copy on this entire music. So for copying, I use this particular icon, selection tool, and then you can just drag it till there. I pressed Ctrl C, I come back over here, and at the outro I can see from this gap, this is the outro point. I'll just press it down over here. And also I do not want the music to go on for really very long. I want this music to start after I have stopped talking. I want for like 15 seconds more to go, and after that I want it to just go out. So if I can increase the voice a bit, just a second. Yep, something like that. That sounds good. Hope you liked this podcast and it answered all your queries that you had around a free, right? And after that the music is going to go very loud, right? And at the end it is just going to stop. So as soon as the audio is is completed, I'm done editing. All I need to do is click on file, click on export, and then export as a wave, right? And then it will show me where to store all my episodes. A lot many episodes over there, and then I will just click on save. Of course you need to click on the details and ask add which file format and the name of the title. Then the artist name, I provided my name. The track title, the same as the title of your episode. The album title, that is the name of your podcast. Then the track number, which episode it is. The year, which year it is going to be released, like 2022. Then genre, which genre you want to add it to. So my genre is basically around business and marketing, right? And click on OK. So as soon as you click on OK, the wave file gets generated, right? And in the next part, I'm going to show you how to add this particular file to your Buzzsprout. So you can see here I am at Buzzsprout, and I'm going to click on the episodes, and then I need to click on upload episode. Now I will choose the file to upload and just upload it there. And as soon as I am done uploading, I need to edit the title and the description. So you can see here the episode title and the description. Once it is done, all I need to click is publish. So since this episode is already published, it is all fine. I can either schedule it. You will see two buttons, publish right now or schedule. So when you click on schedule, you will get options when you want it to schedule, right? So the last episode I published was on January 17th. I usually do it every 2 days almost. So in a week I publish 3 episodes. You can start with 1 episode per week, and eventually you can pick up from there, right? And once you are done, you are good to go, right? So that was all about Do With Me. So once your setup is done, you can do exactly how I did to upload your episodes, right? And why I didn't cover the setup part is because you guys might be interested in Anchor.fm or Buzzsprout. All of these platforms are providing pretty good videos to how to get started with setup, and it is quite easy, right? So once you are done with this, finally you must, and I will say it again, you must take up the 100 days challenge. And in the next 100 days, make sure you are publishing episodes. So 100 days, it means not like skipping few days, or 100 by 7 it will come down to 10 or 15 episodes, not like that. It is 100 episodes challenge. So you must publish 100 episodes before you decide to quit. Do not quit unless you have done 100 episodes, right? And finally, the last point I want to share with you guys is your next steps. Your next step is, first, you go ahead and subscribe, like, and comment if you have not done so, because you have watched the video till this particular point. I know you needed this particular video, and I have put on all the hard work. So go ahead, subscribe, like, and comment your key takeaways and what else you want me to cover into the next video. I am very much sure that I'm going to read all your comments, right? So those are your first step. The second step is, if you want to create your own passion-based business in terms of digital products, I'm talking about creation of your own courses, creation of your own books, creation of your own community to help people to understand what you have inside you that you are going to give to this world, then join my tribe by visiting ranvz.co/join. I will also put this particular link into the description below. And till then, thank you everyone for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.